podcast called Jellison podcast.
First ever type 1 diabetic in UFC history.
Doing fine, Nice to be with you.
Get out!
He's like, yeah. My tunnel vision and my periphery, I'm like off field.
Hey, you know how it is, though. Hey, when your team.
I don't remember that. That's crazy.
What's up, everyone? We're back with another episode of the Jellison podcast, and they have a very special guest, former Colts defensive end, All-Pro, future Hall of Famer, Dwight Freeney. Dwight, how are you?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great. So obviously, coming up next week, you have your big MADDEN tournament that you're hosting. So kind of talk to me about that and how that came to be.
Well, I used to be a big MADDEN player back in the day when I was younger, and, that kind of went away a little bit once I started my career in the NFL. I actually, my first couple years in 2003 or 4, I won the MADDEN championship, and that was pretty much the last, hurrah I had for MADDEN because of the workload of football. It just kind of took over all the free time that I had. But now I'm retired. So I was sitting around and I had a friend text me the other day and he said, hey, you know what? Why don't you get back on the controller? Why don't you get back on the sticks? I looked around. I said, you know what? I'm retired. I got nothing to do. I got a lot more free time. Why not? So I decided to get back on the sticks. I actually started to enjoy it. Based on the times right now with this pandemic and social distancing, I look at it as an opportunity for people to get back together. I'm all about community, I'm about competition, and I'm about mental health. And this kind of really hits all three notes, and I can actually have a good time. So I partnered with Generation Esports. Okay, they've done many tournaments in the past. And I also have partners with Brand Jordan. Okay, so my friend Michael Jordan happens to be a good friend of mine. He's going to be throwing in some sneakers for the winner. All right, there's only 23 being made. All right, so the winners get different prizes, and that'd be one of them. So that's happening March 1st, and anybody can follow any of my social media handles to find out more information about it. You can go to thirdandlong.gg. and you can find out more information. But it should be a good time, man. We'll have other celebrities. We'll have other, sports stars and retired football players, current basketball players, maybe some golfers. We'll have a good mix of people, just finding ways to compete under this time.
Mm-hmm. And I'll definitely link that in all of my stuff as well. Try to share the word. So you talked kind of about mental health and just everything that has gone into this tournament. How important do you think that is? And then second part of that question is, how do you think the world of e-gaming is kind of evolving and taking over?
I think, mental health is very important. And I think that's something that I think as the years go by, people are realizing that how important that is. Our mental health, how we process things, how we enjoy things, depression, different things can occur if your mental health is not correct, especially now, because right now we're in a situation where, your life has basically been turned upside down because you can't do anything that you used to do, and you can't see people. And you're confined to small spaces or your house or what have you. That can definitely cause some issues mentally. So that is one of the reasons why I felt like this is a good thing to do to kind of get things going on that forefront. And what was your second question?
About how kind of esports and e-gaming is taking over. I'm assuming that you'd probably want to do this, make it like an annual event.
Yeah. And esports, it's kind of funny is that based on the times, the one thing that probably has increased, and it's taken off is, esports and gaming, right? You could do that in the house. You don't need anybody else to be around you to do it, which has become like obviously the perfect opportunity to launch something like this, because that's where everybody's kind of going now, is going into that esports, gaming avenue, and it brings people together. Sometimes it sounds kind of weird, but if you, as a gamer, you get on and you get online and you're playing with first your friends or people you don't even know. It's some type of camaraderie there, to where as though you get fulfillment, you get to be connected with somebody, and it's perfect time to be doing this, knowing that everything is taking off for esports.
Mm-hmm. Now, do you play Madden with your kids at all? Kind of give them the work?
Not yet, man, not yet. You know what? It's interesting. I have a little nephew. One of my boys. He has a little son, and I'm like an uncle. Okay, I'm not officially an uncle, but I'm like an uncle to him. And he is talking so much trash about how good he is. And he's like, I don't even know. It's like 12 or 10 or something like that. And I've always said that I refuse to play anybody who doesn't have a job, because if you don't have a job, then you have too much time to get too good and find all the glitches and the plays that just don't make any sense. But you know what? Right now, I don't have a job. So, and maybe it would be a fair matchup, right?
Mm-hmm. And how much Madden is played in the locker rooms? I know Pat McAfee's kind of been vocal about he would get mad about his Madden rating and stuff like that. So how much conversations in the locker room just revolving around that?
Oh man, it's been a lot of conversation, man. It's always been a conversation. It's kind of weird, you sit there and you're a national football player, and people feel like that's all you worry about. But sometimes you get on the little game, you kind of look and see what the rating is for you, and you look at it, oh man, agility, that's all, or speed, man, I'm fast, but where's my awareness? It's kind of one of those things where, we kind of look at it and we laugh a little bit and we joke with each other like, you suck on Madden, but it's just part of the culture. It's part of the culture. A lot of the guys definitely now have grew up playing the game. So it's kind of like one of those things where you just kind of fall right into because it's so easy to.
Mm-hmm. Back in the day, who are some of the guys that gave you the most trouble? I know you said that you were a Madden champ.
Oh man, you know what? It's hard to find people, to come. And I actually, you think about it, my winning percentage was something serious back in the day. I used to take and apply my football game plans, my literal football game plans for the NFL, and apply it to Madden, where I would be basically, I don't know, scripting my first 15 plays on offense, and at halftime, my first 15 to see how the defense adjusts, and then all of a sudden I would just attack. Those are the days. It's kind of hard. I remember taking a trip with my good friend Edrin James. We went down to Atlanta, and we played this guy called the Guru, and that game was probably where I realized, you know what, I better stick to my day job. My day job was playing football, because I went down there and this guy was throwing passes to the right, but the video game screen would be going to the left. And I couldn't even see who he was throwing to. And all of a sudden, the guy's just running up the field. And so when that happened and it started getting glitchy and guys just really just do that for a living, played the game, I had to take a back seat and said, you know what, I'm going to let these guys go.
Yeah, fair enough. I remember that, like, it's kind of like a reality show, the Madden tournament that they used to put on ESPN. Those dudes they're something else.
It's something else. They find these little things and know how the game really works, and kind of knows exactly what throws would work and what defense would work, and they just have all the time in the world to figure it out.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned Edge. I kind of want to talk to you about both him and Peyton going to the Hall of Fame here in the next, should be in the fall, hopefully, but I know Edge wasn't able to be inducted just because of COVID. So what is it like to see those guys and Marvin start to get into the Hall of Fame from those Colts teams?
Yeah, it means a lot to me. I'm a part of that journey. Those guys are like family. Those guys, we went through a lot together, and to see those guys succeed just personally to and climb that mountain to the top. And, and for all football guys, and any sport really would be like kind of the Hall of Fame, right? That's where you get enshrined and you live there forever. And those guys definitely had an amazing impact on the game of football, amazing impact on our team. Individually, they were, some of the best that's ever done it. And I'm just happy that I had a front row seat to watch all of
that. Mm-hmm. And have you kind of had that realization that, guys like you, Rob, and Reggie, you guys are going to be next going to the Hall?
Well, hopefully, God willing. This is one of those things that you just don't know what's going to happen. I can only control the things that I can control. All right, I can control the plays I can make on the field, maybe, or whatever, but I can't control who votes for me. And and I know Robert and Reggie feels the same. We put it all out there on the field, and it's there. And if people feel like, hey, you know what, these guys deserve it to be in that elite company, then thank you. And I appreciate it because we went out there and gave it our all. And not saying that's what we were trying to achieve. We just went out there and did what we needed to do day in and day out. And if that what it turned out to be in the end is a Hall of Fame player, then so be it.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any good stories that kind of haven't got out about either Peyton or Rob or anyone from back in the day?
Well, you know what? No PG stories.
No PG stories.
Let's just say, man, those guys. You're seeing a little bit of Peyton now, of a different face of Peyton. And what I mean by that is, if you watched him during his career, you would think he was the most serious guy in the world. Never really seen him laugh, really didn't see him joke if you watched the games, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But us players really knew the other side of Peyton. And that side is what you guys or fans are seeing now. Well, that Saturday Night Live Peyton, that Peyton who likes to joke, and just joke around and have a great sense of humor. That's something that we've always known and always seen. So, I can't really go into the stories of Peyton, definitely, and Rob, but those guys are amazing people, man. And it's like I said, I'm blessed to call those guys family.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, fair enough. I know we're running short on time, but I wanted to ask you if you ever look back or if you talk to Rob or Edge or Reggie on the phone or whatever when you see him, do you guys reminisce and think about just how dominant you guys were back in the 2000s?
Yeah, you know what? When you're there, you don't really talk about it, right? Because you're living it. But once you look back on it, then you really realize those were the special times and those were your golden years. It's kind of very similar to when you leave college and when you're gone. While you're there, you don't realize how good you got it.
Yeah.
Until you're gone. And then all of a sudden you look back like, man, I missed those college years. Oh my goodness, no responsibilities. I can just go have fun. I can do this, I can do that. And you're just young and you can just make mistakes and it's all good. Same thing in football. It's one of those things where you don't realize how good you got it until it's gone. And then when you look back, you're like, man, we had a beast of a team. And that's kind of the feeling, man. When we get together, we talk, and we're just like, man, those are the years, wasn't it? We ain't have nothing to worry about. All right, offensively, between Peyton, Marvin, Reggie, Edrin, Dallas Clark, just we had nothing to worry about defensively, and we had our Bob Sanders and Robert Mathis and Gary Brackett. All those guys there that came to play every day, in and day out, man. Raheem Brock, those guys, man, we had a special team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. So last thing I wanted to ask was, do you think that you and Rob, I said this the other, happy belated birthday, by the way.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
I said this the other day. I think that you and Rob are most dominant pass rush duo ever. Maybe I'm a little biased being from Indy, but do you feel that same way? And were you like aware of Rob being on the other side when you were actually in the game?
Well, I mean, I think, we'll leave it to people to kind of judge us in history. I think if you put our numbers up collectively, I think we are on the top of the list or the top of the list in most statistical important categories for guys who come off the edge. Okay, I know combined between both of us, we have more caused fumbles than any duo in the league history of the game, and that's a long time. All right, from a sack perspective, collectively, I don't know what other duo or combo has more than us, but there may be. But I do know we left our mark in the game, and I know that every time I lined up, I knew I had another beast on the other side. All right, so in the end, it was pretty much look at Robert and tell him, hey, I'll meet you at the quarterback. And that's just what it was. And once I get doubled, I know Robert's going to have the single. If he gets doubled, I know I'm going to have the single. So it was kind of, we play off each other a lot.
And I'm going to have to wrap this up and let you go, but tell people where they can find all the information for your tournament and when that will be starting. I know the matches start on March 1st, and then the registration ends on the 7th, I believe. Yep.
So, if they go to any of my social media handles, okay, they can definitely, at Dwight Freeney, Instagram, IG, Twitter, what have you. You can follow me, figure out and find out all the information. You can go to thirdandlong.gg, and you'll find out more information. That's March 1st. We're just trying to build this thing up to where is that we can do this annually. Have some guys take a part in this event, some celebrities, give you players something to play for. When I was younger or whatever, I'll play for free. You didn't have to give me, that's how it was. But see, right now, we'll go out there and display how good you really are, and something that we can do yearly. So, I implore people to sign up. It's going to be a good time. Who knows? You might play me. You might play another celebrity. You won't have that opportunity anywhere else, man. So you can follow me on social media or go to thirdandlong.gg and have a good time.
I'll be signing up, and hopefully I can play against you and give you that work. But
no, let's go. Let's go. I love it. Come on.
Man, I'm gonna let you go, but thank you so much for coming on. It was truly an honor.
No problem. You take care of yourself.
Yep, you too.
All right, man.